Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport. My name is Dan Davis, and we bring you live action here for the Pro-Am drivers here at round 7 of the championship. And welcome to a very, very dark Monza. As you can see, we have our one and only night race here at SimPlay Motorsport, and as you can also probably hear, but you can't see, we're in the wet conditions at Monza, so the tempo of speed has been slowed right down this week, and the conditions are going to be very, very interesting. It's cold, it's wet, it's dark, everything that you don't expect from Monza, and what an interesting night of racing we have ahead of us. And first things first, guys, if you are joining us live here on the channel, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified so you do not miss any of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport. And yeah, we are hoping to bring you some great action here tonight. And hello Nedzo F1 Gridbox, nice to see you in the chat, buddy, and get involved in all the chat as well, all the polls that I post up as well. Just be a part of the channel, and it's all great to hear from you. If you do want to be a part of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport, then head over to the SimGrid so you can get yourself signed up on the channel and look at our Discord and also our fabulous sponsors down in below, Bozzy Designs, Design Manchester, and Audio Sport as well. But first things first, welcome to Monza, the home of the Tifosi, the home of Ferrari, technically the home of Lamborghini as well, but it's known for Ferrari. But we are here for the round 7 of the championship, sprint and feature coming your way. And as you can see, like I said, the weather conditions are not perfect for this race, but we'll definitely see how these boys get on in these conditions. It's cold, it's wet, and yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge for these guys. A quick rundown of the championship standings before we get back into the circuit and what we have planned here this evening. It is Matthew Duffin still leading the way with his restrictor and ballast on board. Obviously, to people who are new to the channel and don't know reason why, Matt is carrying a restrictor and ballast. He is quick enough to race in the pro category, but obviously due to the fact that me and him are the only commentators here at the channel, he instead of me racing pro-am like last season, he's opted to race pro-am this season, and he has got the weight and restricted on board because he is clearly too quick for this category, and as you can see, he is struggling with it here, but he is leading the championship. He's got 31 points ahead of Flem Speed 1, who also carries a ballast on board as well. Again, pro driver, really should be in the pro category, too fast pro-am, so we put a bit of weight on the Porsche. P3 in the championship is Nova, but again, he's carrying ballast as well. I've been showing he's got quite the pace to be in the pro category, and we've just put a little bit of weight on his car just to bring him a little bit closer to the group as well, and he's slowly working his way to the top 3. So those guys are with the ballast and restrictors on board. In P4, it is John Goudet. He's 106 points behind the leaders, with M. Tucker sitting in P5. P6 is DJ Phil, with P7 going away with Ian Gray. P8 is Kelly Davis, with Max Mulder sitting in 9th. P10 is R. Ritchie, with 11th is, R. Michelle, In P11 is B. Craig. 12th is Dean from Greasy Bandits Racing, with 13th Micro Jays, and 14th with his teammate just behind him is P. Raiden. 15th place position is Nikita, followed by in 16th place is Leon Fernie. Fat Bloke is in his 17th place with Jay Winters in 18th. Stawson down in 19th place position with Playman in 20th. Dean Wasocki in 21st. El Josa in 22nd with M. Ritchie in 23rd. 24th is Dan Johns with the 25th position of John Andrews. D. Evans sitting in 26th with the Cranky Duckhead, the first of the people who are out of the championship in P27. P28 is MB Pitts with Allsbrook in 29th. GT Jimbo in 30th position with Michael in 31st. Excuse me. 32nd position is V. Peterson with Finesse in 33rd. Ducky Warfare, ZZ are not yet scored a point, and our newest driver here tonight, I will try and find him on the table. It is this man, BD Boy 22, joining us in the Pro-Am category this evening. That is the Drivers' Championship. Regarding the teams, it is still very, very close between 3 teams at the minute, but it is the, if I get the right car, We'll go with this one. It is the Greasy Bandits Racing leading the way, but only 4 points ahead of Jaeger Motorsport in second. They're only 4 points ahead of FSO Racing Team in P3, so 8 points separating the top three. Bullet Bandits sitting in P4 with P5 Team Audio Sport Remix, not too far behind them with Team Merlot in P6, Iceni Motorsport in P7, P8 is Team Richie Corsa, P9 is Team FBR, P10 is BTC Racing, and at the back of the grid is Red Dragon Racing in 11th place. Regarding the manufacturers, McLaren are Constructors Champions, even though we've still got multiple rounds left to go. They are Constructors Champions. With BMW currently second, still fighting with Ferrari. Lamborghini not too far behind them in P4. P5 is Porsche, P6 is Aston Martin, P7 is Mercedes, 8th is Bentley, 9th is Audi, 10th is Honda, Nissan is 11th with Lexus in 12th, 13th is Jaguar and Retia at the back of the pack. A couple more guys in the chats. FBR, nice to see you in the chat. Evening all, this should be a fun one tonight. Evening all, wet and dark, some damage tonight in the first corner, says Holty, Fat Bloke, let's tonight's carnage commence. And where is Fat Bloke? Where is he? Is he on track? I believe he is. Yes, he is. He's in 12th place. Now, Fat Bloke has actually given me a prime and great opportunity to show the problem that we have tonight. Obviously, most of the guys who know SimPlay Motorsport, we are a PlayStation League. We have been for a long time. And until ACC is finally now updated so we can have Xbox drivers join with us, we've got that here. Now, the problem that we're having is that at night, the Xbox and the PlayStation drivers can't see the other consoles' lights. So I'm PlayStation right now, and we're on board with Fat Bloke, and he does have the lights on. I know this for a fact. But to me, they're off. So this is going to be incredibly difficult, not just for the PlayStation drivers, but incredibly difficult for the Xbox drivers. There is only, I believe, only 5 in the grid here on Pro-Am. And there's a lot of cars that won't have any lights. So the Xbox guys are really relying on the PlayStation boys to be aware of where they are. They got to be making sure they're checking their radars and making sure that they give the respect that they possibly can here at Monza. Luckily, it is Monza, so most people know the circuit. They know it quite well. So we'll see how they get on. But it's actually GT Jimbo, speaking of an Xbox driver, who's leading the way at 54.0. Very good lap time here around Monza in the wet. And the weather is improving. So it is clearing away ever so slightly, but this rain is meant to be staying with us all night long. Flem Speed 1 back to the pits. Matthew Duffin in the pits as well. We'll go on board with Nikita for a little bit. But let's talk about Monza, the Temple of Speed, a fantastic circuit just outside Milan and in Italy, home of the Tifosi, home of the Italian Grand Prix. It's been around for a very, very long time, and to others it's probably one of their favorites. To most, they probably are sick to death with it. But it's a very easy circuit to learn, but a very difficult one to master. It's not the easiest track to learn, to get right, especially in these conditions. There is 11 corners around here, all with a very famous name. Couple of them I can't actually pronounce, so I'm not even going to bother. But we got the chicane of turn 1 and 2, into turn 3, which is known as the Curva Grande, into turns chicane 4 and 5, up towards the two lesbos of 6 and 7, and then down towards the back straight into the famous Ascari chicane at 8, 9 and 10, and then into the very famous final corner at Parabolica, a corner that Gary 131 famously on the first night, the first season on Project Cars, pipped somebody on the line in these type of conditions, not at night but in the day, and nicked a position of somebody right on the last lap. And I remember rewatching that and seeing Matt and Andy, who was at the time the co-commentator, losing their minds over it. It was a fantastic moment and an iconic moment here as well. Monza, the circuit, is a capacity of 120,000 people, FIA grade 1, and it opened back in September 1922. So the track has been around for 101 years. A very, very long time this circuit's been around. Obviously, it's famously known for having Formula One, the FIA World Endurance Championships here, the 6 Hours of Monza, GT World Challenge come here, World Touring Car has been here, and many, many other fantastic events. I believe Superbikes possibly come here as well. It is a very fast corner, and obviously around the circuit you will see, let's see if we can get a driver. I believe Max Mulder is coming to the bit that I want him to come to. So we've got on board with Max Mulder. He goes through Lesmo 2 and he comes down towards the back straight, and the bridge that they go underneath is actually the original banking from the original circuit. As he goes underneath there is the banking on the bridge there. So we go under the old circuit and back through Ascari. The lap record is actually held by Rubens Barrichello back in 2004, which is a 121.0. These cars will not be doing that lap time around here. Like I said, 11 corners, and the length is 5.7 kilometers long. In miles, that's 3.6. Regarding GT3 lap times that we should be looking to keep an eye on, obviously in the dry, this is what we'd be looking at. A lap time around here, a good one would have been, the record is a 147.1, and I believe that most of these guys in the pro category can do a 47. I don't know if it's a 47.1 they can do, but they can definitely do a good lap time around there. But it is still GT Jimbo leading the way with the best lap time with a 54.0. And that's a quick rundown of the circuit, and like I said, it's a fantastic circuit and home to Formula One with some brilliant racing that's been here, and it continues to be a fantastic stop. In the chat, we got a peaceful stepdad. Good evening, everyone. And we said Fat Bloke and Whitcomb in the chat as well. Nice to see you all, and like I said, get involved, interact. And first things first, my first question to you guys, and I'll make a poll as well. First question is, do we like Monza? Personally, I prefer Imola, and I actually prefer a lot of Italian circuits compared to this one. I prefer Imola. I do quite like, I do like Misano. Misano is a great circuit. I do also like, I can't even remember the name of the circuit now. The F1s went there once when it was COVID. I believe it's Mugello. That's a fantastic circuit. But Monza's been around for a long, long time. It's known, like I said, it's the fastest circuit in the world, and it definitely brings some great racing. In the wet, though, that's another story. As we are on board with Gray, I'm going to try... Oh, look at that. Perfect. I'm going to try and get an onboard. So there you go, that is an onboard of Gray's view. This is the conditions that they're having to deal with. And we'll go around a lap with Gray, and we'll see how the Monza circuit is taken. As the first things first you need to make sure that you do is get a fantastic run out to Parabolica and head down towards turn 1. There's loads of puddles down the main straight, so try and find them and avoiding them for the race. But we head down towards turn 1, a very, very heavy braking zone. You pretty much come to a complete stop, reaching 168 miles an hour in the wet, braking at the 150 meter board, dropping down the gears slowly, down to first gear, reaching the apex for turn 1. He's just missed it, so we went deep into turn 2, and which has compromised his exit as we then go towards the Curva Grande, turn 3. So making sure you stay tight. It's quite bumpy to the inside of the circuit, but you want to make the shortest distance around the circuit, so staying tight is probably the quickest option. You then head up towards the second chicane, braking once again just before the 150 meter board in the wet conditions, dropping down to second gear here, not first. It's a little bit more opened up. Hit apex 1, apex 2. Try and take as much as you can without hitting the curb, because it is a big orange sausage curb. Brake just for the orange marker on the right hand side for Lesmo 1. Gaming it nice and tight, easy on the throttle, quite a bit of banking going into it, a little bit slippy on exit as he then goes into a Lesmo 2. Bit more opened up, and you could be a bit braver through there. Bit slippy on the apex, on the exit there of the curb and then back underneath the circuit. A couple of rivers down here, slightly drive through there as they head up to the very famous Ascari. Brake at the bridge, dropping down to third gear and try and get the front turn in. Try not to touch the inside curb too much in these conditions. As you can see, he's gone a little bit too far, compromised his run through the last part of Ascari, bouncing over the curb and heading down towards the parabolica, getting a good run down the back straight, heading up towards the final corner and just break it to the signs now and try and get the front to turn in. Stay as tight as you can in these wet conditions. The shortest run to the line, short shifting to get the grip, and as you can see, Ian Gray is up on his time. As you can't see, I can see he's up on his time. He's currently half a second up. He's just hit a bit of river and across the line, probably under the one of the most famous podiums in motorsport. So thank you to Gray for giving us a fantastic view of the circuit. And that's the conditions these boys are going to be racing in those wet conditions. A lot of these guys like to drive in cockpit view as well. So what you saw is genuinely what the guys will be seeing in these conditions. Nova seems to be struggling to get near GT Jimbo's time. That's an impressive lap time from him in the Ferrari. Home soil as well. Another Ferrari up there as well. Michelle in P3. So yeah, it's looking good for the Ferrari boys. Let's see the votes on Monza. Majority seem to like Monza. It is a great circuit. Very well known, iconic, and evening to our sponsor, Audio Sport. And that now leads me on to our sponsors. Thank you very much, Audio Sport, for dropping in the messages there. If you haven't done so already, then please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified. Also, while you're there in that section of the video, can you scroll down into the bio? And in the bio, you will find all three of our fantastic sponsors. Audio Sport manufacturers of VW Transport, T4 audio solutions and styling products. Head over to www.audiosport.co.uk if you want anything modified onto your T4 and T5s regarding in the audio solutions area. So door pockets, I'm trying to remember what my dad does now. Yeah, basically modifications to your T4 or T5 transporters. I believe he's working on caddies as well now. So yeah, have a look at his website for all those great products. You've got Design Manchester as well, producers of vinyl, graphics, laser engraved gifts, mugs, printed clothing, and much, much more. You could get personalized stuff done with Mike at Design Manchester, a brilliant brand, and definitely have a look at his stuff. And then Bozzy Designs, producers of all graphics needed, such as logos, overlays, and much, much more. And his website is just below as well. We've got 2.5 minutes left of the session, and as you can see, most of the guys are back into the... Max Mulder's had a moment in Parabolica. Matt's still in the pits. Most of the guys are in the pits now. We'll go on board with our Audio Sport driver. And Kelly Davis has asked me to make a shout out to Adam at Kawasaki in Lana. So good evening to Adam. I hope you're enjoying the stream and I hope you enjoyed the sprint race. Please come and watch the pros tomorrow night, as they're just as exciting as the Pro-Am boys. But we'll see how Kelly gets on this evening. Currently 17th, but anything can happen in these conditions. The wet does offer some great opportunities for people to gain positions and just be overall lucky in the racing. If you are new to SimPlay Motorsport, then here's tonight's format. All these guys have just had a practice session and have all been trying to dial in their cars ready for tonight's race. Luckily, the weather will be staying the same, so don't have any issues on changeable conditions. But they got this practice session, and then we'll be going into a reverse grid based on the championship standings. So Matt will be at the back of the pack. And Hypertech in the chat saying, I hope you all enjoy this race, viewers, and it should be an interesting one indeed. Hypertech, also known as John Goudet, he is racing here tonight in his Mercedes. He is currently, where is he? He's 11th at the minute. So we'll see how Hypertech gets on and then this evening. So they're going to a sprint race based off the championship reverse grid order. I do have that order with me. So it'll be GT Jimbo who will start on pole position, and with the pace he's got at the minute, he looks very good to possibly take a win. MB Pitts will start second, with Cranky Duckhead third, El Josa in fourth, D Masaki fifth, Playman sixth, Winter seventh, Fat Bloke eighth, ninth was Nikita, 10th was Raiden, 11th is going to be Micro J's, Dean's 12th, Craig 13th, Michelle 14th, Mulder 15th, Davis 16th, Gray 17th, Green 18th, Tucker 19th, Goudet 20th, Nova 21st, Flemspeed 1 22nd, and Duffin will be in 23rd position. Regarding the other drivers, there's MBD Boy 22 will start 24th, as he's a brand new driver and will be starting from the back of the grid, and a few others that didn't either respond correctly to the event that's on the Discord will be starting at the back of the pack because they didn't do it at the correct time. As you see, some of the guys coming in to pits, end of their sessions, they're all done, they're getting ready for the sprint race. 20-minute sprint race. There is a pit stop required as well. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to change tyres. They don't have to add fuel. They just got to come in, serve a pit stop, and off they go. It has to be done within the pit window. If it's not done within the pit window, they will get a penalty, or they will be forced to come back in and do it at the correct time. Once they've done that, we'll go into a small 10-minute practice that will not be broadcasted, as it gives myself and the drivers a chance to either, have a quick toilet break, grab a drink, and get ourselves ready for a 15-minute qualifying session, which every driver can go out and do and set their best lap times. They will take pole position and they will gain an extra point for that. Fastest lap also is an extra point for both races. And in the feature race, it is a 45-minute race, and basically to see who is the winner of the night. And that is pretty much everybody done except for Josa, who's coming into the pits, and a very, very fast pit entry. We do have wet conditions here. We will start at pole, and in these wet conditions, Flemspeed 1 looked very, very good. So we'll keep an eye on that Porsche later on. It will struggle in a straight line, but I will get the votes out on who you think is going to win the first race. And we're going to go with GT Jimbo on pole position, looking very quick in that practice session. Can he get his first win? We're going to go with El Josa as well, I think. No pressure, boys. But obviously, guys, if you think somebody else is going to win this race and they're not these options, then please put your suggestion in the chat, and I will add a tally, and we'll see who will come out on top of that. We're going to go with Nova as well. And there is your poll, ladies and gentlemen. Get yourselves voting in now. Reminder, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get as many likes as we possibly can. Currently 21 of you watching, only 10 likes. Let's get that up as quickly as we can. We're about to go green here at Monza for the 13th round of this season, race 13, peaceful exposure. Hope everyone's steady going into a turn 1 to turn 5, at least, fingers crossed. I really do hope the same as well. And like I said to the general chat, and also if the drivers are listening, especially the PlayStation drivers, please be wary of the Xbox drivers. Their lights, they cannot see you, so they're going to try their very best to give the space and respect needed. If it's going to happen anyway, it was here at Monza, but it is GT Jimbo who will lead these guys away. Get your votes in on who you think is going to win this one. So we've got GT Jimbo, El Josa, Nova, Fat Bloke, and again, if you don't believe any of those four will win this race, then drop it in the chat, and I will say out loud who you think is going to win this one. So a quick rundown of the order. GT Jimbo on pole position with MB Pitts second, Cranky Duckhead in third. GT Jimbo hoping to bring the Ferrari home for its first home race win. And the new car, MB Pitts in the Aston Martin starts second. Third will be the Cranky Duckhead in the Honda NSX. One car to look out for in a straight line. It's very, very fast. Then we've got Josa in the Porsche, the 97 car, in fourth place. We'll see how he will do. Then the BMW, the first of the BMWs of Dean Wasaki from Jaeger Motorsport, the 32. What can he do from that position? Playman in the Lamborghini Evo 2, the number 18 driver. What can he do in that position? Then we go to Jay Winter, another BMW driver, the 56. He's nearly dropped it on his own there. And we then look to Team FBR, the 55 Mercedes-Benz of Fat Bloke. Very, very fast in straight line, that Mercedes. What can it do here at Monza? Another BMW, the AAA of Nikita in 9th place. We'll see how he gets on this evening with the first of the ACC Motorsport duo, P. Radin in the 66 Bentley, ahead of his teammate, the other Iceni Motorsport, the 316 of Micro J's. Both Bentley drivers, very good round at Monza is the Bentley, and very stable as well. The Greasy Bandits driver of Dean in 12th in the 38 Ferrari. Let's see how he gets on in his bright green Ferrari here tonight. Then we look to the first of the Team Murloc cars, B. Craig, the 333 in the McLaren. What can he do from there? Then we got Michelle, Richie Corsa in the 93 Ferrari. What can he do? Looks like he had good pace earlier on. Then we go to the BTC Jaeger Racing McLaren of Max Molden, the number 3, looking to try and be at least in the top 3. Followed by another McLaren, the first of the Team Autosport Remix, the 22, the big boss himself, Kelly Davis. What can he do around the circuit of Monza? Then we go to Ian Gray in the 666 BMW. Let's see if he has got all the luck tonight here at Monza. Then we go to the other team, Murloc McLaren, M. Tucker, the 23. What can he do from there? Back to the other Team Autosport Remix driver, the Lamborghini, the DJ Phil Green DJ. What can he do? Can he spin a record around here and be at the top of the table by the end of it? Then we've got John Goudet, the leader of the Greasy Bandits racing team, the number 8 Mercedes. What can he do? That Mercedes has got some good grunt in a straight line. Can he use it to a good advantage? Then we got the AA of Nova in the McLaren, the Bullet Bandits driver, all on his own now. With the same with the Flem Speed One Boy, FSO Racing, the 721 Porsche driver, and then your championship leader, M. Duffin at the back of the pack, the 55 BMW driver, followed by BD Boy at the back, newcomer, the 78. They all make it through Parabolica. It is GT Jimbo on the front row with the Aston Martin. Ferrari versus Aston, back in the olden days. Please, guys, hit that like button as we're about to go racing here in Italy for a second time this season at Monza. We now wait for the green. And we are green here at Monza, and the front group seems to stay in double file for pretty much most of the way, but it is the back end of the circuit that's already spread. You can see multiple cars all over the circuit as they head up towards the very tight turn 1, and already Dean's off. Looks like Davis has been caught up in that as well. Kelly Davis facing the wrong way as they all head up towards turn 1, and there's a nasty puddle on the exit of the main straight, but they seem to try and negotiate. There's a Ferrari off, there's a BMW off, and they're all trying to negotiate turn 1 as best they can, and they're still not quite negotiate turn 1 yet. Joseph's off, he's had a bad start, but they all managed to somehow work their way through, and it looks like Matthew Duffin, I think, has had a decent start. He's in the middle of that. There's a car off in the side there. That is Micro J's. He's gone wide, and already chaos going into the first couple laps, but it's GT Jimbo leading the way. We're still looking at this back squabble of cars, and it is everyone trying to find their way through. Playman bouncing over the curbs, but Matt's had an absolute flyer. He's worked already he's 10th already from the back of the pack, but it is GT Jimbo. Dean there having a little bit of a moment by the list of things, but GT Jimbo ahead of the Aston driver, and looks like Dean Wasaki's had a moment. I think he's gone in the wall. He has done, and looking back as well, that's Fat Bloke. He's had a moment as all these guys, who's out in the back? There's a lot of cars off in the background. Absolute chaos here at Monza. There's a car facing the wrong way. I'm not sure who that is. Is it Nova? No, Nova's up into 11th. He's with his championship rival, as is Flem Speed 1. So the 3 restricted cars all together. Davis has had another moment. He's gone around at Ascari. The new boy, BD Boy, is working his way through the order. But all these guys, who was the one that came off the worst? Tucker dropping to the back of the pack, but it is still GT Jimbo leading the way after lap 1 in the Ferrari. Then it's MB Pitts. Cranky Duckhead has lost out to Winter and Michelle, as we've got Wasaki now dropping down the order. He's lost out to Nova. He's lost out to quite a few. Max Mulder, Fat Bloke, Matt, Flemspeed and Nova, so they're all dropping down the order as they try and find their feet here. But GT Jimbo leading the way at the minute. Matt looking to the outside of Fat Bloke, and Flemspeed looked like he was very late on the brakes there and couldn't find a way through. Fat Bloke is now alongside as the car off. That is Dean Wasaki. And Fat Bloke hits a bump there. Matt goes through. This is exactly what Matt needs. His championship rivals are still behind him. Dean's still facing the wrong way and waiting for cars to move. Where is... So Matt is on the move. He's trying to stick with the guys in front. 22 has got a drive through. That is Davis for probably track limits, and he's having a horrid start to this Monza race. Had a great Silverstone, but Monza is just not going the way for Kelly Davis right now. Meanwhile, the top two are pulled away. GT Jimbo gone 3.1 ahead of MB Pitts, who's quite a bit ahead of... Oh no, he's only just a little bit ahead of Winter. He's made a mistake there because Winter's got close to him. Michel's looking quite good in the Ferrari. Cranky Duckhead's had a moment with Max Mulder. Max Mulder sent it on the inside and has gone straight on at Ascari and has kept it facing the right way somehow, but he's going to stay behind the Cranky Duckhead. And now he's got Matthew Duffin coming up behind him. Flemspeed 1 has cleared Fat Bloke. Fat Bloke's dropped down the order quite a bit, so possibly contact with another driver maybe has dropped him down the order. But Fat Bloke sitting behind Nikita now, who's decided to change his car. It was white, it's now blue and black. But Michelle now looking to make the move on Winter ahead. Matt is slowly working his way as we got this fight. This is a championship fight as Flemspeed 1 is now racing with Nova. Nova looking to the inside of turn 1. That is a car slowly out of the pits. I believe that is Davis, and Flemspeed very late on the brakes and he makes contact with Matt. Nova hits Flemspeed and Matt facing the wrong way. Flemspeed very optimistic on the brakes there, and Matt having to wait and wait and wait for some clean space, and he's got going again. That was sloppy from the top three in the championship. Matt, a bystander and all that, got caught up in the incident with Flemspeed 1, and Nova goes through on all of that. But GT Jimbo pulling away from MB Pitts, who's pulling away from Winter, who's holding up Michelle. So the top three looking very good at the minute. While we got a couple of cars in the pits. Goude's coming to the pits. Jay's in the pits. Rayden's in the pits. And I believe that is Davis into the pits as well. Was that a pit stop or was that the drive-through? That was the drive-through cleared for Davis. So he'll have to come in again and do his stop. But that's pretty much his race ruined. Where is Matt after all of that? Matt has dropped down to 15th place. He's behind Gray now. So all that hard work he done earlier on in the race has just become undone. But GT Jimbo pulling away. He's got a lovely gap out in front. 5.2 ahead of MB Pitts, who's been looking quite good in the Aston Martin as well. Very stable car. Alex showed that in the pro category. Looked very, very good in this car. As Winter now comes to the pits. That's released Michelle. That's going to help him out massively. Meanwhile, Max Mulder is back on the cranky Duckhead once again as Nova pulls into the pits. We're going to stay on board with this fight because this time Max Mulder had a great run through the Parabolica as he now heads down towards the first corner, turn 1. He's pretty much already got ahead of the NSX, of the cranky Duckhead, and into turn 1 again. And Max Mulder's got the job done before we even get there. Flemspeed obviously opting to stay out as some of these guys are heading towards turn number 1. Dean is under some pressure from Josa at the minute, who's trying to get onto terms with his teammate. What is Matt going to do strategy-wise now? He's probably got a little bit of rear damage to the back of his BMW, so hopefully he'll be carrying that damage with him, and it might be affecting him ever so slightly in the corners, but we'll see how he gets on here. But Josa, the one looking to make some moves at the minute. Dean's actually, he's got past Nova because Nova was in the pits. Nova has gone green. Where has it put him? He's behind Winter still, but he's quite a bit behind from the pack. Goude is only now coming down to turn 1, and Nova is gone through turn 2. Fat Bloke now looking to get onto the back of Nikita. So we've got this mid-pack at the minute. They seem to be within a second or half a second of each other. There's a nasty puddle that they've all seemed to be avoiding on the exit of Lesmo 2. Looks like Josa was finally getting alongside Dean there as they went underneath the old circuit. Porsche's a little bit slower in a straight line. Is he far enough alongside Dean? And Josa goes into Ascari, but Dean hangs on in there. That's just bringing Gray and Matt back into play as they all run over the exit curb. We'll get to the halfway stage and we'll end the poll there. At the minute, most of you reckon that GT Jimbo is going... Oh, no, it's level with Fat Bloke. So get your votes in quickly. We've got 2 minutes to get your votes in who you think is going to win this one. The meatball flag appears to be out for some reason, but I'm not sure why. Davis has now served his pit. He's going to have to forget about this race and focus on the next one. But GT Jimbo long gone into the distance. Nikita comes into the pits. We look at Duffin, who's on the back of Gray, and Gray is trying to get onto the back of Josa. Dean is trying to get onto the back of Fat Bloke, and it's all relatively close here. Flemsby 1 looking like he's probably got some front end damage from hitting the back of Matt earlier on. He's got the McLaren driver of B. Craig hunting him down. As our good friend Ben in the chat, good evening to you, buddy. When are you going to get a PS5, bud? Because we are missing you. Nexus, the man who ran the Jaguar last season, in the chat. Nice to see you, buddy. As Flemsby 1 straight lines the second chicane, pretty much. As Josa once again gets back onto the... Oh, as Dean's hit the curb. That's caused Josa to go wide. Ian Gray goes through and also goes through Matthew Duffin as well. So both of them go through. Dean on the outside and Matt gets through into Lesmo 1, and Josa just ended up following him through there as Gray's very slow through Lesmo 1. So Dean and Matt getting very close to one another as they try and split each other. Meanwhile, Nova has caught Winter and is going to go down the inside of the second chicane. This is for position, and Nova just about gets it stopped, but he runs wide. Winter's going to try and get a better run towards Lesmo 1, but he hasn't quite got the grunt. Probably a little bit of wheel spin probably didn't help him out there. But Nikita falls in behind them, so some clear air for him. So Michelle now looking to bring that gap down soon with the Jag. He'll be bringing the Jag back, ladies and gentlemen, don't you worry. Dean obviously losing out to Matthew Duffin earlier on. Matt is still pressurising Ian Gray, but they've lost major time. There's 4.6 now. They've lost to Fat Bloke just ahead. Matt is still behind Ian Gray, and Matt... Oh, was that across the white line? That was very, very close on pit entry. Matt is in. Dean has come in with him. So GT Jimbo looking very good at the minute. Nova is in the leading pitters at the minute. He was racing with the likes of the Cranky Duckhead and Michelle. So we'll see where he pops out after all of that. But Duffin is in the pits. He'll come to his box and he will lose out to... Nova here. Dean's gone green already. Where is Nova? There he is. He's going down the main straight. Matt has gone green. He's not repaired the car. Nova goes through, as will Winter, Nikita. Who else? This is Goudet. And Matt and Goudet are going to be very close going into turn 1. I say that. Goudet's got obviously the high speed, and he'll go into turn 1 ahead of Matthew Duffin. Behind him is Davis. Meanwhile, back to the front. The Cranky Duckhead has lost some more time to Flemspeed 1 and Craig is now holding him up. Meanwhile, GT Jimbo, fast lap of the race, and he's 10.3 ahead of MB Pitts, who's only 1.8 ahead of Michelle. So good little race between those three. Guys you don't normally see at the front are having a fantastic race here at the sprint race, and this is what this reverse grid race does. It gives the drivers at the back of the pack an opportunity to try and win some races and score some decent points. Cranky Duckhead, though, still ahead of Flemspeed 1 as they go through Parabolica. When will Flemspeed choose to pit? That is the question. We'll end the poll there. It's just GT Jimbo you guys reckon will win this one from Fat Bloke from Nova. But Craig's opted to pit while Flemspeed's right on the rear wing of the Honda driver. as they head towards turn 1, and Flemspeed, even with the ballast on board, has got past the Honda, and Cranky Duckhead don't really fight that too hard. As Flemspeed goes a little bit wide in turn 1, John Goudet is going to have Matthew Duffin hunting him down. Meanwhile, DJ Phil is racing, or he was racing P. Raiden. He's lost time to him. As Craig has gone green, where is Nova? He's now exiting Parabolica. He's got clean air at the minute. No one to worry about. Does it do fastest lap? No, he's not done the fastest lap. Craig is just going to come off the limiter now. So we're looking at... Michelle's got past Pitts. So Pitts has lost out. Max Mulder, oh, he's a bit squirrely there just behind. So I reckon Nova, at this pace at the minute, he's going to slot in the Max Mulder MB Pitts region, I reckon. But GT Jimbo, what can you expect from this guy? He's just gone. He's just disappeared into the night. And Michelle, 14.0 behind. He's having a great race here, Michelle, as is the top 4. Max Mulder having a decent run here. Flemspeed 1 is now pulling away from the Cranky Duckhead. What's happening further back? Dean Wasaki has come out of the pits. Oh, that's a car facing the wrong way. Who is that? That is Tucker, I believe. Or is it Craig? No, it's not Craig. It's Tucker. Tucker's struggling here at Monza. And he's lost out to DJ Phil, probably carrying damage. He's losing out to Kelly Davis. Meanwhile, Nikita is starting to hold up with Goudet. Duffin's in this scrap as well, as is Craig. So see where all this feeds out. This is your closest fight on track. Fat Bloke is catching the Cranky Duckhead, but Cranky Duckhead comes into the pits. But we go back to this fight. Craig is actually quite close to at the back of Matthew Duffin. As we got Nova now going into the Parabolica. Where would Cranky Duckhead feed in all this? There is Nova. He's heading up towards Parabolica now. And Cranky Duckhead, will he go green? He will. No, he won't. He's been... Oh, yeah, he has. He has been dropped now. Nova exits Parabolica. So we are looking at the M Pitts kind of range, I think, just ahead of Max Mulder, who had to straight line the second chicane end. That would give him a warning. But I think Duffin's struggling with that rear end damage. He's got Craig right behind him, and all these guys will jump the Cranky Duckhead. As Matt comes up towards turn 1, Craig right behind him. And if it was such a shame that Flemspeed 1 just missed his braking to turn 1, it would have been a great fight between the top 3. Oh, that is Ian Gray. He's had to straight line the chicane, missed his brakes and could not turn in. As we've got Max Mulder back on MB Pitts again. It'd be interesting to see how the Xbox and PlayStation drivers are getting on with these light issues that they're having, but we've got Max Mulder now right on the rear wing of MB Pitts. The Aston Martin against the McLaren. We got GT Jimbo finally into the pits. Michelle's looking probably to come into the pits as MB Pitts is trying to hang on as Max Mulder's rear end really stood out then and was struggling for grip. These guys are gonna have to pit now, and in they come. The top 7 will have to pit. So where is Nova? He's now coming to Ascari. So this should be very interesting to see where all this pans out. Meanwhile, Craig is still on the back of Duffin and can't find a way through. GT Jimbo has already gone green and away he goes. Nova hasn't even got to Parabolica. Michelle has gone green as well. So where is Nova going to be after all of this? I'm going to keep my eyes on Max Mulder, one of the first ones in. He's the furthest down the pit lane. He's come in, he's stopped, he's gone green. Nova is now exiting Parabolica. Flemspeed 1's gone green. But I think it's going to be Max Mulder and Nova fighting into turn 1. Mulder's gone, he's been released off the restrictor. Down the main straight he comes, here comes Nova. Flemspeed 1's got to stop and go penalty. Nova to the outside of turn 1. Max Mulder's not quite up to speed. It's going to be very, very tight, but Mulder gets the apex and holds on to the position. Nova bouncing over the curb and cannot get past the McLaren of Max Mulder as MB Pitts does go green. He's lost loads of places here as MB Pitts. probably changing the tyres, but Max Mulder has managed to stay ahead of Nova. Meanwhile, we look back, Duffin is still ahead of Craig. There's a car facing around with, that's the Cranky Duckhead. Let's go aboard with the Cranky Duckhead. He's had a moment and he's managed to clear any car problem. Oh, he's spun again and right into the path of Micro J's. As and he's about to make contact to my show, and I'm not sure what's going on with Cranky Duckhead there. He's having all sorts of mare. PN Motorsport has gone off as well. So, can Nova do anything about Max Mulder to try and get himself onto the podium? Pit window has now closed. There's only 2.5 minutes left to go. Fat Bloke is on the back of Goudet, and they're all parked up behind the new boy of BD Boy, who really should be starting to get out of people's way. Now he goes to the inside of Ascari, but he's got a whole train of cars. He's got 2 Mercedes drivers coming flying at him. And, he had to get back into sequence, but he just holds up. Matt Fat Bloke's had a big moment. And Fat Bloke into the wall. That's another position for Matt. He's not losing out too much now because Nova is obviously still in that P4 position. But Matt will gain another position with Flem Speed 1, might have him to pit, or he's going to try and fight it to the end. Nova now is with Max Mulder. Flem Speed comes into the pits and serves his penalty. Max Mulder with Nova. 2 McLarens go towards turn 1. Who's going to be the bravest on the brakes? Max is going to hold it there. He's going to try and stay strong. He goes a little bit deep, but he'll defend the inside of the next corner, and Nova has to check up. He bounces over that curb again, and Max Mulder holds on. And the weather's getting heavier, it's getting wetter out there, so these boys are going to be struggling right now. But Max Mulder is hanging in there for a podium position right now. This is great racing between the 2 McLaren drivers. GT Jimbo, meanwhile, going through a Lesmo 2. He should be on his last lap, I think. But this is a great scrap between Nova and Max Mulder. I'm keeping an eye on deltas and positions right now. Nova's going to look to the inside of Lesmo 1. He's not far enough alongside. Raiden looking to make a move on DJ Phil as Flem Speed is in the pits and serving his penalties. Nothing else really going on. It is between the 2 McLaren drivers. Mulder versus Nova. Into Ascari, they're going to come. Where is GT Jimbo's going to get one more lap in, I think. So Nova's going to have another opportunity. He seems to be struggling in the middle sector by the list of things. Flem Speed has cleared his pit stop. I think that's a bit of karma from the contact with Matt. But Nova taking a lot of curb. Really abusing the track limits there. He's able to do it. He's comfortable with the cars. Meanwhile, Max Mulder is avoiding the curbs.
All right, man. The leader's on the final lap. Give me the final.
GT Jimbo on his last lap here, 10 laps around Monza, and he's done a fantastic job. Meanwhile, we go back to Nova and Max Mulder. Max has gone very wide at Parabolica. And, Nova gets onto the grass. He has a snap himself. They're both struggling for grip, struggling for traction, and Mulder goes down towards turn 1. We go once again, the 2 McLaren drivers. BTC or Jaeger Racing versus Bullet Bandits Racing. Nova versus Mulder, and Max Mulder brakes earlier but still gets his nose up the inside. Oh, and contact is made. Max Mulder comes off worst. Nova carries on through. Max Mulder's trying to get going once again, and he has done so. Has he made any obstruction? No, he's managed to stay in that position. Meanwhile, Matt is still giving Goudet a hard time towards the end of this race. GT Jimbo heading towards Lesmo 2. We'll see how he gets on later on this evening in the feature race. But what a drive from him. Playman is got ahead of Dean. Dean's now trying to keep Raiden behind. He's got major damage to the front end of that car as they go down the main straight. Oh, I've lost him now. There is Dean. He's lost out to Raiden. Is he going to lose out to Tucker? He does, and DJ Phil's coming now. Oh, Dean's on the grass. He's trying to get it stopped. He's trying to get it stopped. He does manage to get it stopped and holds up DJ Phil there. But where is GT Jimbo? There he is, the man who starts on pole. It's going to be his first race win. He does it in Ferrari car at Monza, the Temple Speed into Parabolica. He goes the number 222. The Xbox driver of GT Jimbo flashing the lights. He wins at Monza. Congratulations to GT Jimbo. A fantastic job. The Tifosi will be so happy with that one, and it's going to be a Ferrari 1-2. They're going to be so happy here at Monza. It is Michel who comes home for a solid P2. Congratulations to him. Nova is going to get himself onto the podium in P3. Max Mulder was hanging in there for as long as he could, but it is P4 in the end for Mulder. Then it's Winter in P5, Nikita in P6, Goudet in P has dropped out. He's lost out to Matt. It's Matt in P7, Craig in P8, Goudet in P9. Josa is going to hang on for P10. Ian Gray will finish in P11. Micro J's is going to come home for P12, and BD Boy finishes in 22nd. Micro J is coming home for a P12. MB Pitts is he looks so good in second for ages. Not sure what happened in the Pitts. He drops down to 13th. Playman is going to finish in 14th as one of the FBR boys saying great win for Jimbo, and another from an FBR stable. Oh, is he now? Okay. I didn't know that. Raiden finishing 15th, DJ Phil 16th, 17th is going to go away with Dean. Fat Bloke is going to finish in 18th, just ahead of the Cranky Duckhead. Flemsby won after his penalty, will finish in 20th. A Beady Boy in 22nd, Davis in 23rd, and Tucker at the back in 24th. But it was this man, GT Jimbo, who takes the win here from Michelle in second and Nova in third. Max Mulder fourth, Winter, Nikita, Duffin, Craig, Goudet and Josa are your top 10. Fantastic drive from the guys. We'll be back in a few moments' time as we're about to go into a break and into a 10-minute practice session for these guys, and then we will be back for qualifying in about 10 minutes' time. So don't go anywhere. Grab a drink. Grab a quick look at our sponsors down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed that first race, and we shall see you in a few moments' time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsports. We are about to get ourselves back underway racing here at Monza, and we are just about to start the qualifying session. As you can see, all the cars speeding out of pit lane to try and get themselves the best lap time they possibly can. While these guys are currently around doing their warm-up laps and getting themselves prepped and ready to go, we'll tell you the championship standings. It is Matthew Duffin still leading the way, but his gap has come down to 23 points ahead of Nova, who obviously scored some decent points in that one. Flemsby won, although had not the best of races there, and drops himself out of second place, and he's now 50 points behind Matthew Duffin. John Goudet finishing in the championship at the minute at fourth, looking to try and hold on to that fourth place. He's got quite a gap to M. Tucker, who's now ahead of Max Mulder in P6. P7 is DJ Phil Green, with P8 going the way of R. Michelle. P9 is Ian Gray, and just hanging into the top 10 is Kelly Davis. That's why you always need to carry on and finish in the top 10. B. Craig is in 11th, with Dean in 12th. 13th is Micro J's, 14th is Nikita, 15th is P. Raiden, 16th is Jay Winter. Fat Bloke in 17th, with Leon Fernie in 18th place position. 19th is Playman and 20th is Thorsten. Josa is now up to 21st, with Wasaki in 22nd. By the way, Playman, Josa and Wasaki, GT Jimbo, all now mathematically out of the championship, as is Richie in P24, John's P25, Andrew's P26. 27th is Cranky Duckhead MB Pitts in 28th, Evans 29th, Allsbrook 30th, Michael 31st, Peterson 32nd, Finesse 33rd, and BD Boy at the back of the pack in 34th. Greasy Bandits Racing still lead the way, but they've only got a gap of 2 points now as they fight against Jaeger Motorsport in that second place position. FSO Racing losing out now to the top two in P3 with just Flem Speed on his own. P4 is the Bullets Bandits, with P5 going the way of Team Audio Sport Remix, who's starting to become under pressure from Team Merlot, who's in P6. ICE Motorsport in P7, with P8 going to Team Richie Corsa. P9 is Team FBR, and in P10 is BTC Racing, with Red Dragon in 11th place position. All the teams are still mathematically in to score championship points. McLaren still lead the way. BMW is ahead of Ferrari, Lamborghini in fourth. Porsche is now bringing that gap down to Lamborghini. Mercedes in sixth. Aston Martin is seventh. That's a close gap between those two. Bentley eighth. Ninth is Audi. 10th is Honda. And 11th is Nissan. And we should be back and ready to go racing as all the guys are out on track. We have nobody joining us in the comms box now. Max Mulder in the chat. Nice to see you there in the chat, bud. Saying hi. A couple of drivers are on qualifying bans for this round. Max Mulder being one of them, and that's why he's saying hi in the chat. Dean Masaki, DJ Phil Green, and that is all for bans this week. Leon Fernie will carry his on into Suzuka, but we now look into the qualifying session. I'll put a poll out on who you think is going to take pole position here. Some boys looking very good around here. Matt is going to be the first one to set a lap time. And Matt sets the pace. Nova goes 2/10 faster. Flem Speed 1 follows in behind. Nikita in fourth. Then is MB Pitts. Craig now crosses the line. Only fifth. GT Jimbo goes in fourth. He's just ahead of Davis, who's not completed that. Josa is now coming to the line. Micro J's goes eighth. Here comes Josa. Where does this put him? He goes ninth. Looks a little bit wetter out there for these guys. Raiden now to the line. He's only 11th. Davis on a lap. Gray into the final corner now. He's the next one on a lap as the car comes to the line to complete a lap time. That was a BD Boy. He goes in 10th as Gray now exits the final corner. And there is a poll for you guys on who you think is going to take pole position. So right now, anyone on a lap, all these guys currently not setting a lap time at the minute. The 22. Yeah, no one on a lap. I believe that is Duffin on his own. He's the next one to set a lap time. He's only 2/10 behind Nova at the minute. And the weather is meant to be improving as well, so it should be interesting. So as I come through Ascari, down towards Parabolica, there's quite a few cars behind Matt. Yeah, there is a gaggle of cars. So Matt's got the lovely clean air. The only difference is he's not got the toe, which he could probably do with around here, but in these wet conditions, it might actually be more of a hinder with the dirty air. But towards the line comes Matt. Has he found 3/10? To the line he goes. Any improvement? No improvement. It is then going to be Nova to the line. He's currently 3/10 ahead. Is he improving? He finds a 10th. Flem Speed 1, no improvement. GT Jimbo, let's keep an eye on his lap time. Towards the line he comes. And he goes fastest. He takes the pole away from Nova. GT Jimbo has come to play today. Anyone else on a lap? The Cranky Duckhead coming into the final sector now. The 22, that is Davis as well. He's out on track and he's currently 13th at the minute. No improvement as the Cranky Duckhead comes towards line, 18th at the minute. And he invalidates his lap time right at the end there. We've got the 666 of Gray, I believe, ex-Tim Parabolica. Yes, we do. Then the 555 is the next one on a valid lap. So Gray towards the line. Any improvement? He goes P3. Fat bloke now into the final corner in his Mercedes-Benz. He is on a valid lap. What can he do with that lap time? It's going to be Michelle, next one to the line. Fat bloke, only 16th with that one. Michelle, though, on a lap time in his Ferrari. The Tifosi were happy seeing the 1-2 for Ferrari here. Here comes Michelle to the line. I think he goes P2. So the duo Ferrari's looking very, very good here. The number 8 of Goudet, he's next to come to the line. The Mercedes grunt, they seem to be like the very powerful cars seem to be struggling to get their power down. And the light, agile Ferrari seems to be pulling out all the stops. Goudet goes 7th. We go back to Duffin, who's on a lap time. So Matt towards the line now. Is he going to find half a second? He does improve, but doesn't change position. Nova to the line now. He's got to find 2/10. And he finds a 2.5 there. Nova with a 54.6. And he's like, yep, that's me done. GT Jimbo to the line now. No improvement there. Looks like the ballast isn't affecting Nova here. As Davis, I think, is the next one to come to the line. Where is Davis? There he is. Or he's already been through. There's a car that I keep mixing him up. I think it's 23. Yes, it is. A Tucker goes through and improves up to P10. The 666 of Ian Gray next. As Phil in the chat says, he doesn't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that he's on a qualifying ban. Ian Gray to the line now. Any improvement? No, he stays P5. What can these guys do about that lap time set by Nova? Fat bloke exits the final corner. There's a car just in front of him. Sounds like a Lamborghini, and it was Playman. He went through up to 13th or 12th momentarily, and Fat bloke put him down even further. Who's next on a lap time? That looks like Goudet. Yes, he is. To the line he comes. Into Parabolica he goes. Richie gets within Mitchell gets within 3/10. Michelle, I'm probably getting that wrong. Michelle gets within 3/10 of Nova. Goudet, he improves and goes P5. Matt slowly dropping down the order, and he has a big moment out of Parabolica. Matt struggling here. He's probably put loads of fuel in the car and just keeps going round and round and round. No improvement there for Matt. And all these guys just trying to find that little bit more. Flem speed, he finds some more time. As we see the 2-2 of GT Jimbo, he gets within 13 thousandths of a second of Nova, and he goes back straight to the pits. There is more time in that. He just needs to tidy up a few corners. Winter stays P12. The number 21, I believe, or 31. That is the 31 of Cranky Duckhead coming through the final corner. And there's Tracy in the chat. Hi, Dan. I'm late, but better late than never. Exactly. Here to support Max Mulder, I believe. But the Cranky Duckhead to the line. Finally, a lap time on the board, and it's 15th place for him. So now we look to the 666 of Gray. And he stays, he improved, I think, to P4. Yeah, he did improve to P4. We go back to the Mercedes driver. Nova seeing that time from GT Jimbo and is now panicking and has come back out on track. He does not want pole position taken away. It is an extra point as well for him. So Fat Bloke, no improvement. Now the next car is the 38 of Dean. The only one who has not set a lap time. Everyone else has pretty much, except for the guys on qualifying bans. Here comes Dean. He doesn't, he invalidates it on the final corner once again. So Dean's struggling to get a lap time on the board. Matt taking too much speed into Parabolica, drops the rear, and he has probably, that's his qualifying session pretty much done, unless he comes out now. Low fuel. Davis currently 19th. Kelly Davis struggling to get a lap time on the board. He comes to the line. He improves, goes up to 17th ahead of MB Pitts. Will Matt come back out? That is the question. Matt is currently staying in the pits. Oh, Craig's gone round and into the wall. Parabolica. Big mistake there. That looks like Winter now going through. Winter coming to the line. Currently 12th. Any improvement? It goes to 10th place. So now we've got the 97. The 97 of Josa to the line at 15th place. The FBR driver, no improvement. We look back to the 55 once again of Fat Bloke, who is next one on a valid lap time. And I don't think we'll see Duffin coming back out, nor Goudet or Craig. They're all going to keep it very, very tight to coming back out on track as the Cranky Duckhead gets out of the way of Fat Bloke. So it's the best run through Parabolica. Can Fat Bloke improve, get himself into the top 10? The rear just not seem happy through Parabolica. He just needs to find 3/10 to get himself in the top 10. Has he found those magical 3/10? No, he is not. So he stays where he is for the meantime. Who is that in the final corner? That is an 8. It's the 38 of Dean. Has he finally got the lap time on the board? He does, and gets himself into 20th place. It's what he needs. He needs to stay ahead of the non-qualifiers to give himself the best opportunity. Even though they're still at the back of the pack, he's still ahead of a couple of cars. Davis now into the final corner. Towards the line he comes, currently 17th. Has he found a bit more time? He has done, but not enough to get many higher. This will be his last attempt. Most of these guys are on their last lap now. And Michelle was on a lap time. Is he going to improve? No. 3/10 to find. That's all he needs to get. GT Jimbo on a lap time, as is Nova. So we look to these two. They're going to be the first. Oh, no. GT Jimbo runs wide, but he will get an opportunity to go again. Nova's made a mistake and gone wide. So it's going to be between the Ferrari of GT Jimbo, the Ferrari of Michelle, and the McLaren of Nova. I think Nova might be able to get one more lap in, but he's trying to give himself some clean air. GT Jimbo towards the line. He will get one more lap in. Will Nova? Yes, he will. So it's down to these two and Michelle for pole position. Ian Gray is in the pits. Flemspeed 1 is on a lap, but he's a bit squirrely all over the shot there. Believe Davis is back into the pits. Yes, most of the drivers are back into the pits. It is just Michelle, Nova. Flemspeed's done. He's going to return back to pits. Winter is on a lap, as is MB Pitts by the looks of things as well. So it's going to be Michelle first, I believe, to the line. As you can see there, Michelle goes through Ascari. But to the line, he needs to find 0.3 of a second. I believe GT Jimbo's returned back to pit, so he's not going to steal pole. Nova is probably just pushing a bit hard now because he's just got Michelle to worry about. Can he steal pole position away? Can he gain that extra point? It's 0.3 of a second he needs to find. 3.5 seconds. No, Michelle bails. That is his qualifying done. Winter and MB Pitts are coming to the line now. Nova is on pole position once again here, but only just. The Ferrari boys taking it to him. MB Pitts 18th at the minute. He does improve and goes 16th. Winter doesn't improve. Nova is on pole, but is he going to rub salt into the wound even more? He has currently got 13 of a thousandth second. He's got that extra championship point. What a lap from Nova, but a fantastic job though from GT Jimbo and Michelle. Fantastic job from both of those two to take the fight to Nova. End the pole there. Obviously Nova has taken pole. He now opts to pit, and that is the qualifying session done. It is Nova from GT Jimbo, Michelle, Ian Gray, Flemspeed 1, Nikita, Goudet, Duffin, Craig, Winter, your top 10. Tucker in 11th, Fat Bloke 12th, Playman 13th, BD Boy 14th, Joseph 15th, MB Pitts 16th, Cranky Duckhead 17th, 18th is Davis, 19th was Micro J's, 20th was Dean, and then Raiden in P21, Max Mulder, the first in non-qualifiers in 22nd, followed by Wasaki in the 23rd, and DJ Phil right at the back of the pack. But it is Nova who takes pole position and steals another point away. GT Jimbo could have done a Grand Slam of winning the sprint and the fastest lap and taking pole, but he just missed out by 13 thousandths of a second to Nova. That is really, really close. Really close. Good lap time there from GT Jimbo to get himself up with the pace of Nova. So now these guys have got an interesting race ahead. It's meant to be lightening up later on in the race. We've got heavy rain at the minute, and I believe it's then meant to lighten and become a light rain. So it's not going to dry out, but it's definitely going to get a little bit better conditions later on. As halfway through the race, it's meant to lighten up, and they're going to get the opposite conditions they had at Silverstone. Beforehand, they had no rain. It was dry. And then the rain came right at the end. Is everybody going to make the start? That is the question. To get themselves all set up and ready for this 45-minute race. Guys, if you haven't done so, then please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss any of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport. And if you do want to be a part of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport, then head over to the Sim Grid, get yourself signed up and be a part of the channel. Be a part of the Discord as well, and any suggestions in the Discord, then please drop in the suggestion page so we can give you guys what you want to see. As Nova will pull away and lead the pack into the formation lap. Also a reminder as well, while you're at it, head down into the Discord, the description, sorry, not the Discord, and have a look at our fantastic sponsors as well. Design Manchester, producers of vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts, mugs, and printed clothing, and much, much more. Audiosport, manufacturer of Volkswagen T Transporter, T4 audio solutions and styling products, www.audiosport.co.uk, and Bozzy Designs, producers of all graphics needed, such as logos, overlays, and much, much more. Let's have another rundown and another look through the grid. Nova on pole position. He has got the two Ferraris of GT Jimbo and Michelle behind them. Ian Gray in P4 with Flemspeed 1 starting alongside him. Nikita in P6, Goudet in P7, with his good friend Duffin in P8, Craig in P9, Winter in P10, with Tucker in 11th place. Fat Bloke starting 12th in his Mercedes-Benz. Then it's going to be Playman in 13th, with BD Boy in 14th place position. Josa will start 15th. 16th will be MB Pitts. Cranky Duckhead in 17th, Davis 18th, Micro J's 19th, Dean 20th, Raiden 21st, Max Mulder 22nd, Wasaki 23rd, and 24th is DJ Phil. All 24 will be starting this race. They get themselves prepped, get some tyre temperatures, get some pressures into those tyres, as we will try and get things underway here at Monza for the feature race. As it's going to be Nova from GT Jimbo on the front row, McLaren versus Ferrari. Also for the Pro-Am boys, they'll be happy to know that next race will not be at night, it'll be in the day, and we'll be heading to, once I find the calendar, it will be heading to the land of the rising sun. We'll be heading to Japan for Suzuka, a very tight, twisty circuit indeed. Definitely going to suit the McLaren there, but we'll see how these boys do at Suzuka. But we've got one more race to go tonight, and then the pros will be hitting the track tomorrow night. Make sure you tune in to see how they all get on around this circuit. But who is going to come out on top tonight? I will get another poll going. I'm going to go quiet ever so slightly. We get poll out for winner of the feature race. Also, if you do want to keep an eye on what's going on here at SimPlay Motorsport and you're not a driver, then head over to all of our Instagram pages. I think we've got TikTok as well, Facebook, all those things. Get involved in the community, not just as a driver, but also as a fan. And also, if you do want to be a helpful hand here at the channel, then feel free, drivers, if they want to, or anyone who wants to volunteer as a staff member. We could always do with more stewards, commentators, so on and so forth. If you want to be a pundit like me in the chat, then feel free to drop a message in the Discord. But we get your votes in. Already one for GT Jimbo straight away, as we're about to go racing here at the Tempo Speed, Monza, the home of Ferrari. The home of the Tifosi. One Ferrari's on the front row, but it's got the McLaren of Nova to beat as we wait for the green. And we are green here at Monza for the second time tonight. And looks like Raiden at the back just dropped straight away to the back of the pack. Michel's had a decent run. He's right underneath the rear wing of Nova as they head up towards turn one. Flemspeed 1 involved as well, as they all head up to the very tricky, tight turn 1. Into the corner, they all go, can they keep it clean as they head into the heavy braking zone? And Nova's bounced straight over the curve. That's a car going straight on. That is Ian Gray. Flemspeed right on the rear wing. Meanwhile, Matt is watching all this unfold. But Nova did gain an advantage going straight on as GT Jimbo is going to try and go around the outside. Dirty air is going to be affecting all these cars, especially in these wet conditions. But the top four are going at it straight away as GT Jimbo head towards the second chicane. Is he going to be later on the brakes? He's going to give it a go. A Ferrari down the inside. And Ferrari lead once again at Monza. GT Jimbo leads. Nova's got a poor exit. And that's given Michel a look to the inside of Lesmo 1. Is he going to commit? Yes, he is. And Nova's going to have to run wide. And he's under all sorts of pressures from the Ferrari duo. He's all over the curb. Michel's still on the inside of Lesmo 2. He's going to get the job done. He's alongside. They're going to go through. But here comes Flemspeed 1 in the Porsche. Michel having to back out, pulls back straight into the slipstream while GT Jimbo tries to pull away. Nova is under some immense pressure from the cars behind. Flemspeed's down the inside of Michel, but he can't get the job done. He's not far enough alongside Nova. Looks like he went a little bit deep through Ascari, but they all managed to work their way through the first couple of corners. There's a couple of cars off in the background. Who is that? That is a 78. That is a Beady Boy. He's dropped to the back. That bloke's there as well, but your top two has changed. It is GT Jimbo from Nova, from Michel, from Flemspeed 1. Duffin is in that 5th place and hanging on. That is Ian Gray in 6th, Winter 7th, Goudet 8th, 9th is Craig. Then a bit of a gap back to Tucker because there seems to be a gaggle of cars back here. There's Jays and all involved down there. Where is Davis and all this? He's up into 11, so he's worked his way up the order pretty well. But GT Jimbo already long gone into the distance as Nova tries to recoup and get himself back going again. Michelle defending the inside. Flem Speed go right round the outside of turn 1, has the inside for turn 2 and gives him a great opportunity. That's going to give Matt an open opportunity to go past Michelle as well as he tries to recover and get going. So Flem Speed's doing all the moves and Matt's picking up all the pieces. But GT Jimbo leads from Nova, from Flem Speed now. Can he stick to the back of Nova? Can Nova catch GT Jimbo? That is the question. Other fights going on. Davis has got going and following Tucker. There's Joseph's off with major damage to the front of his car. He's come to a stop. Would he be going into the pits? Micro J is in the pits. He's got damage. DJ Phil has got damage. MB Pitts has returned back to the pits as well. There's a lot of car with a lot of damage, and Fat Bloke is returning back to the pits. What on earth has happened to the back of the pack? I do not know. As Dean Wasaki is having a fight with Max Mulder, and Max Mulder seems to have cleared all that lot. I'm not actually. I'm feeling quite good. I think my throat is just a bit croaky today. I'm not sure why, but yeah, not sure, Tracy. But GT Jimbo leading the way. He's got a 2-second gap already over Nova. This is where the ballast will start to affect him. A second behind is Flem Speed 1. He's picking up the pace. Matthew Duffin in P4, he wants to stick with the top 3, but Michelle is a lot faster. With that restrictor on board for Matt, he's going to be a lot slower in a straight line than the Ferrari, but the Ferrari hasn't got the best top speed anyway. Winter is under some pressure here from Gray. No, Gray's under pressure from Winter as Winter goes down the inside and Gray falls back as Goudet also runs wide. Craig gets has to check up there and Goudet pulls away. Meanwhile, Dean Wasaki is still fighting with Dean. Great, these two are fighting. They always confuse me when these two are racing. Micro J's has come back out. DJ Phil, I believe, has gone back out, but he's right off to the side there. DJ Phil not having the best round this week. But you can see there, Duffin with the restrictor on board is struggling with Michelle right behind him. But Matt is going to do everything he can. He's going to use all his touring car knowledge to defend that position as much as he can. Michelle looking to the outside of the curve at Grande, but not going to get the job done there. And Michelle's going to have to wait a little bit longer. He's going to have to probably rely on turn 1 to try and get that job done. Oh, as Winter there just bounces over the curb and loses out. Gray will go through as Craig gets the switch on Goudet and goes underneath. So a position there game for him. Tucker is still in that P10. Davis has gone straight on at the second chicane. DJ Phil returned back to the pits. Cranky Duckhead has got going. MB Pitts has not moved since the start of the race, so he's back to the pits. So Duffino still under pressure from the Ferrari of Michelle. And GT Jimbo just pulling away out in front. Fastest lap as well for him. Oh, Nova's got on the curb. He's had a moment, he's caught it, but Flem Speed 1 is going to be interested in this. He's got a great run through Ascari, and he's going to be attacking going into the Parabolica. Flem Speed needs to gain some points back after a poor race 1. Flem Speed looking to the outside of Parabolica, but that Porsche not the fastest in a straight line. He's got 20 kilos more than Nova. Nova makes contact with Flem, pushes him wide as they go through Parabolica. Matthew Dufford just waiting in the background to see if anything happens between these two. But Michelle is right behind and giving pressure to Duffin. Meanwhile, Goudet has lost out to Craig. Craig's got through. Here comes the Ferrari driver. Straight line speed in effect now. And Matt has to defend the inside, but he's got it covered at the minute. As Michelle sends it, he's going to go into turn 1. They go side by side, and Duffin makes contact with Michelle, and Michelle keeps it straight. But Flem Speed's not going to allow Nova to make another mistake like that. GT Jimbo, long gone. He seems to like Monza, and he seems to like the Ferrari around here in the wet conditions. He's long gone into the distance. Now, Gray back on to Michelle after the little contact they had as Davis on his own accord at the minute just going through as the two Deans are still battling it out. Playman ahead of Raiden. There's a couple more cars back into the pits. Micro J's is back into the pits. And BD Boy is back into the pits as well. So a lot of cars returning to the pit lane. Michelle, meanwhile, is still on the rear wing of Duffin. but it is Flemspeed 1 who's on the move and is hustling Nova at the minute. GT Jimbo has just stayed out of trouble. He got the jump at the start and has just disappeared. Nova has just lost pace to him. Looks like Michel was looking for a run on Duffin then, but he's not got the straight line there down towards Ascari. Matt's going to be hoping that Gray gets a little bit closer to give Michel a hard time as they go through Ascari. The good thing that Duffin has at the minute, he's not following any cars. He's not got the dirty air in front of him and affecting his car. But it does for Michel, Gray and Winter. Michel seems to be in a BMW sandwich. Only one BMW missing from that squabble there. Nova's had a couple of moments, but he's got going again, and Flemspeed is right behind him, going with him, and Nova's actually gained some time on GT Jimbo there as he heads towards turn 1. We'll go with Duffin and Michel, and I don't think Michel seems to have the great exit out of Parabolica that he needs to get the run on Duffin, but he's looking again. He's late on the brakes, and he's going to get it stopped again, and contact is made. Matt has to go over the curb. And Matt giving him the flash of lights, telling Michel, saying, look, you pushed me off track, you've got to give me the position back. As now Duffin is under pressure from Gray. And Gray's going to now send it on Duffin into the second chicane. He's not going to get that job done. And Michel still ahead of Duffin at the minute. But Flemspeed 1, once again, right on the rear wing of Nova. Dean Wasocki has lost out to Dean, so Dean drops down a position. Playman slowly creeping onto the back of him. Davis has lost out to Max Mulder. But Davis just hanging into the top 12. But we go back to this fight, two championship contenders. Flemspeed 1 against Nova. And Nova's being very brave on the curbs through Ascari, and he jumps over that one. Flemspeed 1 runs wide. And that's where Flemspeed just seems to lose a little bit of time on Nova. Into the Parabolica they go. And as they head up towards turn number 1, Michel still ahead of Duffin. Meanwhile, Winter is coming back at Gray by the looks of things. It looked like he was going into the pits there, and it confused the camera. And Craig is actually starting to come under pressure from Goudet again. And you see in a straight line that the other two BMWs trying to catch on to the restricted BMW of Duffin. And Flemspeed still within 4/10 of Nova. I think that was a car going straight on there. That was Tucker. He had to go straight on at the chicane. As they all work their way through the Curva Grande. GT Jimbo's lost time. He's made a mistake somewhere. He's now only 3.6. Well, Nova and Flemspeed are starting to catch him once again. Michel still ahead of Duffin, still ahead of Gray, still ahead of Winter. Craig in P8, Goudet P9, P10 is Tucker, P11 is Max Mulder, 12th is K Davis, Dean in 13th, Wasocki in 14th, Playman 15th, Raiden in 16th, Fat Bloke down in 17th place position, Cranky Duck at 18th, 19th is Nikita, BD Boy in 20th, DJ Phil's got going again, Micro J's is in the pits, and MB Pits has gone back out on track. We have lost a driver, but I'm not sure who we've lost. GT Jimbo has extended that gap once again, and I think possibly due to Flemspeed and Nova going close to one another again. Meanwhile, Winter and Gray are going at it. They're side by side heading towards the Parabolica. And there goes Gray defending the inside. Winter tries to tuck it in tighter, try and get a better run through the exit of Parabolica. Gray runs wide. Winter's alongside. They're side by side, the two BMW drivers heading towards turn number 1. They're going to be level in power. Gray to the outside, Winter to the inside. Looks like Gray actually has a bit of best. Well, no, they're level pegging as they come up towards turn 1. Gray backs out of it. Winter goes and takes the normal line and breaks into turn 1. Flemspeed lost a little bit of time through sector 1, but Gray losing out to Winter there. Dean Wasaki lost out to Playman there as well, so he's dropped further back. Raiden's now catching on to the back of Dean Wasaki. Fat Bloke slowly bringing himself back into that scrap. But GT Jimbo still under control in this race. I was Joseph that did leave. Thank you, buddy. It was Joseph. Nova in second still. He's got the pressure of Flemspeed. Michelle was pulled away from Matt. I think the stewards might be reviewing that one. But right now, Nova's defending from Flemspeed, even though Flemspeed's not really close enough. This is where we seem to see Nova abusing the curbs quite a bit. And this time round, he's abusing that last one quite a lot, but it seems to benefit him as Flemspeed struggles on the exit. Through goes Michelle. Duffin goes through now. Gray has got past Winter again, so Winter's made a mistake. Meanwhile, Goudet is pressurizing Craig. And look at those beautiful auxiliary lights on the side of the cars, lighting them up. The Goudet green down the side, but Craig's purple lighting up as well. Oh, Goudet had a snap there. Lost the rear of the car. Dean bouncing over the curb. Fat Bloke gets closer to the... Fat Bloke is actually 2 laps down. Such a shame for Fat Bloke, though. But if he keeps going, he will not get that qualifying ban. GT Jimbo, 4.5 ahead. Flemspeed lost touch to Nova now. Possibly the pit stops is where he's going to have to try and gain, as it's pretty static now. The closest fight on track is probably Goudet and... Oh, Dean Wasaki as... Sorry, no. Who's just left? I think we've had another driver leave. Ah, no. No, that's just Myers. Winter and Gray are close. I think your closest fight is actually Craig and Goudet at the minute. The McLaren versus the Mercedes. They all go through a Lesmo. Oh, Goudet, big snap moment there for him. But Craig's not having the best run either. He's a little bit slow. And look at Winter once again right on the rear wing of Gray as they head up towards the Parabolica. Pit window has now opened. Who is going to come in and service their car as Gray bounces over the curb, which affects him through the rest of the corners. Winter's going to go for the switchback on the exit of Ascari, but he gets it all wrong. GT Jimbo, meanwhile, is trying to clear traffic. He has done of DJ Phil. Flash of light says thank you. And Nova continues on through. Will he choose to pit? Nova's not got any lights on. Now, I know he is a... he's a PlayStation driver, and he's not got any lights on his car. Meanwhile, Michelle does fastest lap of the race. Have I lost lights or something? Because... Oh, it's possibly damage. It's got to be. Matt's not got any lights on either. Nova's gone straight on. Nova's gone straight on. And Flemspeed not able to capitalise. Nova's got away with that one. Some of the drivers that are PlayStation for me have lost their lights. So that's great to see. Meanwhile, in the background, Tucker is under some pressure from Max Mulder. Davis 14 seconds behind them. Dean's coming under some pressure to Davis now. Once we get to the halfway stage of this race, I will end the poll. Most of you reckon that Nova is going to win this one. And guys, hit that like button, please. It always helps us out on the channel. As you can see there, Max Mulder trying to pressure Tucker right now. Can't seem to find a way through. Tucker has to straight line the corner. But he keeps hold of that position. There's DJ Phil moving right out of the way of drivers. After a great race at Silverstone, it's all gone wrong for DJ Phil here at the Monza. Winter still stuck behind Gray. Goudet still stuck behind Craig. But Max Mulder going to the outside, heading up towards Ascari. Is he going to try and be brave and do it around the outside? Tucker is still on the inside. They're going to go side by side, but Max Mulder gets the job done through Ascari. A beautiful move done by Max Mulder. And obviously Tucker helped massively in that by being cautious and being careful of other drivers, as 3 drivers have already been into the pits. It is Raiden, Fat Bloke and Cranky Duckhead. Nikita into the pits as well. Micro J's has been stuck in the pits the entire time, so he'll probably take a qualifying ban later on if he stays in there all night. Goudet's made a mistake somewhere, lost out to Craig. But we're still looking at this BMW squabble as Raiden comes back out on track, I think. Yes, he is, and he's trying to get out of the way of the scrap between the 2 BMWs. And he's rally crossing his way through the chicane. Through goes Tucker as well. No, sorry, that's Craig going through. Goudet's opted to pit and he comes back out. But your leader is still GT Jimbo, maintaining that gap to Nova, 4.2. Flem Speed still within 2.4 of him. 2 seconds is Michelle, and 7 seconds behind is Duffin. Meanwhile, Gray in 6th, Winter in 7th, 8th is Craig, 9th is Mulder, who's just bouncing over the curb. Tucker in 10th, Goudet is nearly crossing the white line there, so it's Davis who'll move up another position. He's lost the position to Dean, so Dean goes through. Playman's not too far away from Davis either. Dean Wasocki has got damage to his car, so I can't see his lights. But we go back to the BMW squabble, wanting to be lead BMW, but Duffin is pulling away with that. He is the leading BMW at the minute. Oh, and Winter really pushing the limits through Ascari. He could be any closer to the back of Gray right now. Pretty much pushing him down through Ascari. I think he had to lift. He got that close to the back of the car. He had to lift. As a head up towards now Parabolica. And Gray keeps that advantage. This is all helping Matt right now pull away from this group of cars. Into the pit still is Micro J's. Everyone else opting to stay out. Through goes Craig as well. Max Mulder will go through. Tucker go through. Dean, I think, will also stay out. He's got Davis actually coming back at him. But GT Jimbo leading the way with Nova in 2nd. 3rd was Flem Speed 1. Michelle in 4th. Duffin in 5th. Gray still ahead of Winter. Any other close fights right now? Our Fat Blokes return to the pits. Not sure why. Dean is in the pits now. A lot of times all over the shot, and that's due to obviously the cars in different sectors, so it's a bit confusing right now. But it looks like the fight between Winter and Gray has come to a stop. Gray has just not got the pace now. He's now found the pace, and Craig is now starting to creep onto the back of him this time. As they head up towards Ascari, and Dean has got himself a stop and go. Oh, Dean, after passing Davis, he's going to have to come back into the pits and stop once again. Gain that time on Davis, and he's lost it all. Right now, Playman is quite close to the back of Davis. So right now, Davis is trying to extend the gap to Playman, but Playman is coming back. He's indicating that he's going to go to the left-hand side. Michelle, meanwhile, has brought the gap back down to Flem Speed once again. So Michelle is slowly creeping his way onto the back of Flem Speed. Nova really is not doing any inroads on GT Jimbo at this stage. Pit stops is where it's all going to happen. I think this is where all the action is going to happen. Playman's gone very wide at Parabolica. So a bit of a mistake there. So Davis and Playman both into the pits. Michelle is trying to bring that gap down to Flem Speed 1. That's the McLaren trying to stay out of the way. He needs to make the corner, which he will do, and he goes straight on, so that makes Michelle's life even easier. Duffin seems to have an edge on the cars behind him. MB Pitts has come back out. Max Mulder is still trying to hunt down Craig. Behind them is Dean Wasaki in 12th at the minute, but he's still got to do his pit stop. Playman's still in the pits. Davis is going to be released. Where is Gouda? He's gone into turn 1. Dean's come straight in to do his pit stop, so Davis has he's maintained his position, I would say. So top half now looking to come into the pits relatively soon. I think GT Jimbo is going to do until the very end like he did in the first race. Seemed to work for him. No, he's coming into the pits. So GT Jimbo into pit lane. Has he got it stopped? Oh, looks very close. Nova continues on through. So does Flem Speed. Michelle is going to stay out as well. What is Duffin going to do? He stays out also. So all these guys extending that stint as much as they can. They know there's a window of cars that they're all just stuck in if they end up in it, and in come the pits comes Winter and Craig as well. BD Boy back into the pits as well. Max Mulder continues on through, but GT Jimbo gone green and away he goes. He's going to... Who's he going to come out ahead? He's well ahead of any other car around him, and he slots in behind some traffic, so that's not going to do him the best right now, but he's going to be hoping that the guys get right out of his way. I think that's Nikita up in front of him, but it's Nova now leading the way. Any other close fights at the minute? Nothing at the minute. They're all going through that pit window stage, as Tucker has come out of the pit, still ahead of Davis by quite a margin as well. So Davis just trying to recoup and recover. Michelle is getting closer and closer to Flem Speed, but I think this sector he's lost out a little bit. As we have gone past the halfway stage, so I will end the poll there. Majority reckon that Nova is going to win this one with GT Jimbo, so it's equal on that, but at the minute GT Jimbo has got his pit stops done and dusted. Winter is stayed ahead of Craig. Craig is bringing that gap down. Goudet is he's actually ahead. Goudet has jumped Winter and Gray, so Goudet with a very good strategy, pitting very early, has jumped a few cars, so the undercut has worked brilliantly there for the Mercedes driver. GT Jimbo is already through a Ascari, so Goudet is only now exiting Lesmo, going into Lesmo 1. So Goudet with quite a clever strategy there. Nova's continued on through, as has Flem Speed. Michelle's lost time. Duffin continue on through. Gray's now coming into the pits, and that looks like Max Mulder coming in as well. He's trying to get it stopped. Yes, he does. And Dean Wasaki still to pit also. But Nova leading the way. But I do think GT Jimbo should be able to jump him at no problem. Up to the second chicane, the first chicane we go. And no real fights at the minute. Like I said, we're into that pit stop stage. Who's going to come out with the best strategy? Goudet exiting the final corner as Gray has gone green already. So I think Winter actually possibly may have repaired damage, because Goudet is now coming down the main straight. The 720, that is MB Pierce. He's got a drive through. So where is Gray? He's just gone through turn 2, and there is Goudet just behind. Mulder has jumped them as well. So me thinking Goudet had a great strategy. It's actually Winter who's had a poor pit stop and has dropped behind Goudet after that pit stop. I mean, Craig didn't have the best stop either, so all these guys possibly repairing their cars. Wasaki has got going again. Where is Davis is already into turn 1. Playman coming down the straight. It's going to be close with Wasaki. No, it's not. It's quite a comfortable gap there. But it is just your top 4 now waiting the pit. And it is Nova coming into the pits now. Gets slowed down. Flemspeed 1 into the pits as well. Michel opting to stay out. He's going to try and do the overcut. What will Duffin do? He comes into the pits as well. So Matt's really got to hope that some of the guys in front have an issue or a problem. Suddenly got his lights back on again. So don't know what's going on with these light issues since the update. It's not been great. Nova's gone green already. Where is GT Jimbo? There he is. So the 720 has got to drive through. That's still the MB Pits driver. Nova is now coming down pit exit. And GT Jimbo is already gone through. So Nova comes back out. Flemspeed 1 coming back out as well. Lost some time to Nova by those things. Matt's coming back out. Is he going to stay ahead of Ian Gray? Yes, he will. No problem with that. And Duffin back out on track. So we just now wait for Michel out of all this. Where is he going to fit in all of this? The last person to pit. Fat bloke back into the pits once again. It's not been his round. Nova's done fastest lap of the race now, so the track is now on damp. Oh no, the boys have got the tricky conditions. Track has been set to damp now. It is meant to get heavier in 10 minutes time. I'm gonna have to look at somebody else's stream now to see if they're struggling with tires, because they're nice and green at the minute for most of these guys. But these damp conditions, it's still mildly wet, but it is now declared damp. Oh, okay, so are they now going to have to start looking after these wet tires? We're looking at a few of the drivers' streams, and so far their wets are lovely and green. As Michel is into the pits. There goes GT Jimbo. Nova's into the final corner. So Michel's gone green. GT Jimbo does fastest lap of the race. It's getting drier and quicker. As Michel, where is he going to feed out? He's just coming to the end of the pit lane. I think Flemspeed 1 has possibly stayed ahead of him. Michel is going to go off the limiter now. He does. Where is Matt? Matt's nowhere near. So Matt is going to hold on to fourth place at the fifth place at the minute. Nova going past the MB Pits driver. But the rain is meant to be increasing.
Pit window is now closed.
And the pit window has now closed. 15 minutes left of this race, but it's still GT Jimbo from Nova. And GT Jimbo has extended that gap from Flemspeed 1, from Michel, from Duffin. Michel has lost time to Flemspeed, and Matt is a little bit closer. Ian Gray in 6th, Max Mulder 7th, Goudet 8th, Winter 9th, Craig 10th, Tucker 11th, Davis 12th, Playman in 13th, Wasaki 14th, 15th is Raiden, Dean 16th, Cranky Duckhead 17th, Nikita 18th, BD Boy 19th, DJ Phil 20th, and drive through for MB Pits on this lap. So what's the closest fight? It is Winter versus Goudet, and Craig in the background bouncing over the curb. The longer it stays in these damp conditions and the drier it gets, the more they'll start to be affected with their tires. But so far, I can see some of the drivers' pressures are starting to spike and get a bit high. But right now, this is your closest fight. Winter was chasing Goudet. He's lost time. He's actually lost time to Craig as well. So Craig's got a little bit closer in the McLaren. But GT Jimbo, what a night of racing for him. He has just taken the lead of the race and just pulled away. Nova in 2nd, 3rd is Flemspeed, Michel is 4th, Duffin in 5th. There's really nothing really going on. Craig is the only fight with Winter. Everyone else is in the pits or just too far away from one another. They look close on track, but it's either lapped cars. We'll stay on board with these guys. This is your closest fight on track. Reminder as well, guys, if you haven't done so, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it all helps us out here at SimPlay Motorsport. If you do want to be a part of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport, then head over to the Sim Grid and get yourself signed up. Be a part of the Discord as well. And also, if you haven't done so, please follow our social medias as well on Instagram, TikTok and Facebook as well. We try and post regularly on all of those social medias as much as we possibly can. Also, if you do want to be a part of the team here at SimPlay Motorsport, then for the guys in the Discord, have a look at the job application. It is all voluntary. We run a club here, a community, and we all try and give you the best shows that we possibly can. We're always looking for stewards, commentators, and just general help of the league. As we can see here, Max Mulder now right on the rear wing of Gray. As we look into the inside of Ascari, heading up towards Ascari right now. And he can't get the job done. Maybe on the exit, bouncing over the curb does Ian, and Max Mulder has a great run. I think Ian touched the brakes there ever so slightly on the exit there. Must have had a moment, so Max is going to have to try and go all the way around the outside of Parabolica, be braver on the brakes. Is he going to try and get the job done? He goes into Parabolica and he gets the job done, swings it in, and up into P6 he goes. What else is going on around on the circuit? Craig is catching Winter again, but lost time by the looks of things. And Nova stolen fastest lap once again. So GT Jimbo leading the charge. Oh, is that Nova in the background? Has a moment, but luckily Flem Speed's not close enough to him to really affect him. But we can start hearing the wet weather tyres starting to struggle in these conditions. 10 minutes time, it is meant to increase the rain, so we should see them go back to wet conditions. But these damp, cold conditions are probably not helping the guys out right now. Pressures are going through the roof probably.
2 bodies in 3 days.
Pressures through the roof. Conditions really getting tricky out there. Gray is not really lost Max Mulder. He's staying close. They all seem to be avoiding a puddle by the list of things on the exit of Lesmo 2. Craig once again a little bit closer to Winter. Another driver I've seen as pressures okay. One driver's tyres are starting to turn a little bit yellow now. So maybe these dry conditions are starting to affect some of the cars. But yeah, these conditions are really tricky. The damp conditions are pretty bad. A lot of these guys looking like their pressures are going up to 33 psi, which is quite bad for wet weather tyres. Not really what you want. You want them in the 29.7 to 30 psi range. Oh, Gray has got himself back ahead of Max Mulder. So Max Mulder has made a mistake somewhere and has lost out to him. Right now, though, Matt's still trying to do everything he can to stop his championship rivals from scoring too many points. Flem Speed will struggle to score big. But Max Mulder trying to score as big as he can. But GT Jimbo is maximising points here, other than taking the fastest lap, which is still in Nova's hands. Max Mulder has to try and repass Gray once again. And he's right on the rear wing again.
Good.
To head back towards Ascari.
Need these pressures to come down a little bit.
Into Ascari again. Max Mulder still not far enough alongside. He knows that Ian Gray seems to struggle on the exit. And through Ascari he goes. And that time Ian Gray managed to negotiate Ascari a lot better then, managing to keep hold of the position. Head into Parabolica. This way Max went right round the outside, but he couldn't get the job done this time.
Not a drive through that unless he slowed right off.
Max looking for any opportunity to find his way through. And right now, Ian Gray's doing a fantastic job of keeping that McLaren behind him. They look towards turn one. Max is too far off.
He's on 2 warnings.
Who is?
Nova.
Some great drives from the 2 Ferrari drivers of Michelle and GT Jimbo tonight. Been fantastic for them. Flemspeed's had a moment. He's dropped right off the... No, GT Jimbo's had a moment. Nova is within... Nova's had a moment. Lesmo too seems to be a problem.
I would let you by as well.
Where's
No, mate, just keep driving your race. I'm not catching you, so just keep driving.
Lesmo too. Something about Lesmo too seems to be affecting some of the drivers, but GT Jimbo's had a moment. Nova has had a moment. Are these conditions now really starting to affect the drivers? We're coming down to the last 5 minutes. It is raining harder again. So these tyres are getting worn and beaten. Oh, as I look back there, that's Goudet having a moment. So Lesmo 2, the exit of Lesmo 2 seems to be a sketchy position. We'll go on board with Tucker. He goes through Lesmo 2. And that outside curve seems a little bit lethal right now. So Michelle's bringing that gap down. So right to the end of this race, we've got a lot of drivers who just seems to be struggling a little bit right now. It's now declared wet, so they're out of that damn horrible conditions that the pros had to deal with last week, and they really did struggle with it. A lot of drivers making a lot of mistakes, but Max Mulder now extending the gap to Ian Gray. And there's no real close fights at the minute. Michelle is probably the closest fight with Flemspeed at the minute. As they all work their way through Lesmo 1. Let's stay on board with them through the Lesmo 2. This is where seems to be the danger zone at the minute. Through goes Michelle. All seems relatively fine there. I think there's that exit curve. I don't think everyone seems to be struggling there. As Gray caught back onto Max Mulder again. Oh, Max Mulder runs wide. Start doing driver of the day. It's going to be a tricky one between two for me. We're coming to the end of this race, and it's still a GT Jimbo leading the way, and he's taking the fastest lap back away from Nova. That is apologies there. Apologies there, I just had somebody else's stream in the background. Swear I had that all muted, but clearly not. Thank you for the spot there, as I can't hear a thing with my headset on. Gray has lost more time to Mulder now. As we are coming to the end of this race, Nova, GT Jimbo flashing to Wasocki to say thank you for allowing him through. Nova's now looking to try and clear him. Michelle's lost time to Flemspeed. Matt's all on his own at the minute. No real threat from Mulder from behind. There's really nothing else going on. Playman has gone wide. He's 2 seconds off of Davis. It's all just been a little bit chaotic for some of the drivers at the back of the pack. But GT Jimbo has been a fantastic Monza for him. If he just hangs in there a little bit more, he's going to get another race win in under 2 races here tonight. From Speed 1 still trying to hang on against Michelle, who's lost a little bit of time again, but he's brought that gap back down. Mulder is trying to clear the traffic of Dean ahead of him. So GT Jimbo crosses line. It's probably going to be 2 more laps to the end of this one, and these guys will get themselves prepped and ready to go for the next round of the championship, where we go to the land of the rising sun of Suzuka in Japan for the next race of the season. And I think all GT Jimbo has to do now is keep it on the black stuff, and he should be able to keep this race win in the bag. Top 11, really the only fight that's going on. Playman and Davis have got a fight going on, but Playman can't seem to do anything about Davis at the minute. So as they all go through the final couple of seconds of minutes of this race, 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. There's going to be 1 more lap after this one. It's been a fantastic night's worth of racing. They've all managed to survive the darkness of Monza, and I bet most of them are going to be so happy for this race to be done and dusted. Gray's gone straight on again at the second chicane. Who else has gone straight on? I think that's a Ferrari of Dean. He's getting right out of the way, and Goude's coming up behind him. These guys will be looking forward to Suzuka. Hopefully it will be dry, and we'll be in the daytime once again. No nighttime races. We are now on the last couple of seconds here. GT Jimbo will start his final lap. It's been a fantastic Monza for Ferrari. They are back on top with 2 race wins possibly in the bag. I'm probably cursing now. Don't do a me and drop it on the last lap. That would be embarrassing, especially if it's a race win. But GT Jimbo with fastest lap, he steals that way. The only thing he didn't quite do is get the pole position. But it's been a fantastic drive from GT Jimbo, an absolute masterclass of Monza in the wet at night. Nova's really been his only threat tonight. But then again, as soon as GT Jimbo got into the lead and pulled 4 seconds, he's pretty much stayed 4 seconds or higher. It's not really got any lower than that. Nova gave it a good go, but he's been slowed down. Matt is, again, he's been caught ever so slightly in the championship points. A reminder as well, he is carrying that restrictor and ballast on board. But we will stay on board of the man of the night. I will get the poll for driver of the day going now. So guys, get your votes in on who you think is driver of the day. Vote already going to Ian Gray. He's had a fairly quiet night, but it's been very good. I didn't really think any other driver deserved driver of the day regarding that sense, but there's 25 currently watching. Get your votes in on who you think. But heading down the back straight now, heading to Suzuka for the next round of the season. GT Jimbo enters Parabolica, and he is going to make it 2 from 2. Just missing out on the pole position, but GT Jimbo, a fantastic drive. He wins at Monza. Fastest lap and race miss. Congratulations to him. Nova will finish in 2nd place. 3rd place will go the way of Flem Speed 1. crawling some points back on Nova and Matt, but he'll finish in third place position. Not been the best night for him. He just hangs in there against Michelle in P4. Duffin is going to be happy to say goodbye to Monza and probably looking forward to Suzuka, possibly where the weight and restrictor won't affect him too much. He finishes 5th. 6th is going to go the way of Max Mulder. Great drive from Max in 6th place. Ian Gray will finish in 7th. Goudet is going to finish in 8th place position, crosses the line with his teammate Dean. Winter is going to hang in for P9, ahead of Craig in P10, just ahead of his teammate Tucker. He will finish in P11. Davis will finish in P12 by the list of things. Wasaki 14th, Raiden 15th, Dean 16th, Cranky Duckhead 17th, Nikita 18th. Beady Boy, on his first appearance, finishes at 19th. DJ Phil is going to finish 20th. Where is Tucker? There, he's crossed the line. And Davis looks like he's Playman's gone very wide in Parabolica. That's going to be his final place position there gone, as Davis will finish in 12th place and Playman will finish in 13th, and we just wait for DJ Phil through Parabolica. But it's GT Jimbo. He takes 2 from 2 here at Monza. Nova in 2nd and Flem Speed 1 in 3rd. But a fantastic night for GT Jimbo. I'm going to have to agree with the chat. It has definitely been GT Jimbo as driver of the day. A great drive from him, really showing how good he is around here. And hopefully we should be able to speak to Nova shortly, as he made the top 3. We're not sure how to do Xbox chat right now, so we'll figure that out eventually. Already 10 votes going the way of GT Jimbo, the driver of the day, 1 for Ian Gray. It has been a phenomenal night for GT Jimbo, but we'll see how he gets on at Suzuka, a completely different circuit there. And I believe the championship standings have been updated. We will have a quick word with Nova first. And Nova, obviously race 1 coming from the back of the pack at night, at the rain. It's been an interesting night for you. How tricky were these conditions in this, not being able to see the Xbox drivers, just the general opinion on how tonight went with the conditions?
The first race was scary as hell, and I just took it so calm, and I saw Matt and Flem go past me, and I thought, I'm not going to get pressured into try and battling with them guys. I'm just going to try and get some gap and then pit my laps. But yeah, not being able to see cars coming off left, right and centre. I didn't really see any issues with the Xbox drivers, to be honest. I didn't really notice it. But yeah, very tricky conditions, but just happy I bring it home in one piece in both races.
Yeah, podium in both races, which has helped you out massively in the championship. Obviously, with the rain as well being here, it doesn't really affect you too much with the ballast. I know, obviously, Matt's struggling a lot with the restrictor with these wet conditions. But nonetheless, you've got to walk away from Monza thinking, I've survived Monza, now we go to Suzuka.
Yeah, I definitely survived it. No, Matt did very well to come where he came with the, well, not issues, but with the restrictor and the ballast he had. So he did pretty damn good, and congrats to GT Jimbo. He just pulled away. I couldn't pull him in. He had some different level pace today. Though I was only a couple of thousandths off the fastest lap in the second race. So, but yeah, no, congrats to them. And Flem, I think, finished behind me in P3 second race. So congrats to him as well.
Yeah, GT Jimbo in that one really set the bar here at Monza. Obviously, he had no ballast or restrictor, so he was definitely free of that. Next race of the season is in Japan. We head to Suzuka, a circuit that's very, very tricky to master. A lot of corners to try and negotiate. And how do you think you're going to get? How are you going to get on at Suzuka?
I love Suzuka. It's a great track. I don't know how it's going to be with the ballast. I've got to see, and obviously put in my practice to see how it feels. But as long as it's dry, it should be okay. If it's wet, it's going to be absolutely a nightmare. I think it'll be worse than Monza.
Well, nonetheless, mate, congratulations on the 2 podiums here tonight.
Yes.
I will go back to the votes, and Nova got a vote for driver of the day, so did Ian Gray, but with 71%, it has gone the way of GT Jimbo, and you'll get my driver of the day as well as phenomenal drive. Obviously, a massive shout out to Michel as well. He had a great run in the other Ferrari, making it a double podium for both of them earlier on, but that was Monza. Regarding the championship standings, it looks like this. Matthew Duffin leaves Monza, still leading the championship, but only by 9 points as they head to Suzuka for the next race of the season. We'll see how the ballast and restrictor will affect the top three. Nova has brought the gap. Nova has brought that gap down, but so has Flem Speed 1. He is now only 42 points behind Duffin after a poor race one for Flem. As Goudet is P4 in the championship, he's got quite a healthy gap over Max Mulder in 5th, Michelle in P6, now with Tucker P7, Gray P8, P9 is DJ Phil, and P10 is Davis. Craig is P11 and just mathematically in the championship fight. Dean is 12th and now mathematically out of it, as is Nikita in 13th, also Raiden 14th, Michael J's 15th, Winter 16th, Fat Bloke 17th. 18th was 18th is Leon Fernie, 19th is Playman. GT Jimbo now 20th, Stawson 21st, 22nd was Saki, Josa 23rd, Richie 24th, Johns 25th, 26th, Cranky Duckhead Andrews is 27th, MB Pitts 28th, Evans 29th, Allsbrook 30th, Michael in 31st, Peterson 32nd, Finisterre in 33rd, and BD Boy, his first attempt, gets 21 points to his name. Regarding the teams, it is now starting to dwindle down. It is Jaeger Motorsport still leading the way, has jumped now into the leader of the championship. There are now 10 points ahead of Greasy Bandits Racing, with FSO Racing still in P3, with Bullet Bandits in P4. Team Merlot have now gone ahead of Team Audio Sport Remix. They're now 5th and 6th. Iceni Motorsport in P7. P8 is Team Richie Corsa, who's bringing that gap down to Iceni Motorsport. BTC Jaeger Racing in P9. Team FBR are still mathematically in the championship, but probably will go out next time out at Suzuka as P10, and P11 is Red Dragon Racing. It is McLaren still with the championship. It is BMW from Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche, Mercedes, Aston, Bentley, Audi, Honda, and Nissan. That is your championship standings. GT Jimbo has come in and absolutely annihilated it here at Monza. It's been a great night's worth of racing here. It has been great for you guys all to be watching this action. We will see you guys in a week's time for the Pro-Am boys at Suzuka in Japan for the, I believe it's the 8th round of the season. So the championship standards are coming to the very, very end. But it's not over yet for SimPlay Motorsport this week. Tomorrow night, it is the Pro Boys. They'll be hitting the track here at Monza at night in the wet conditions. How are they going to handle the track here? We will see you all tomorrow night for the pros, but for me and the Pro-Ams, we will see you in a week's time at Suzuka. Good night.